You know what it would be a good day to do?
I can guess, but you tell them.
Yeah, garden. And you know our own Josh Rubenstein, he's been
Yes.
planting his garden and doing a lot of things. But did you know that working in the garden might not sound very hazardous, but there are some common pitfalls you can avoid?
Yeah, there are. And our KCAL-9's Sylvia Lopez is in the garden at the Kyoto Grand Hotel and Gardens with a few tips from our resident expert.
We're in the garden today talking about all the things that could hurt you in your garden if you're not protected. And that's where we bring in Nick Federoff from thingsgreen.com, who's the expert on this.
You know, I have a mantra, and it's safety first.
Absolutely.
And we really have to be careful out in the yard and garden. You know, a lot of times we think, oh, we're just going to trim that little branch, or we're going to take and pull those weeds or something like that, and all of a sudden you're in traction in the hospital. You know, it's the worst thing.
Or you have all kinds of scratches on your arms.
Yeah, you know what? This is kind of terrible. I actually did this almost intentionally to show you that I had some simple pruning to do at home.
Right.
And I wanted to prove the fact that even though, you know, I kind of know what I'm doing over here, you still can get hurt.
Can happen to anyone.
So therefore, we want to make sure that wear long sleeves.
Right.
No matter how hot it is, it's okay to do that. And speaking of the heat, who wants to get heat stroke? So one of the best ways for you to make sure that you stay a little bit cooler is donning your headgear.
I like it.
Yeehaw!
Okay,
That's the way we're
good.
going to do it over here. So we want to make sure that we have a hat that's a little bit breathable, that it has SPF factors. Now, SPF factors, sun protection factors, that's what that means, SPF, when you see them on your suntan lotions. And you'll notice that, like, this one's a 30, this one right here is a 15, and then we go a little bit further to, oh, here's a 70, this little one, and then 110.
Whoa.
It just goes on,
A lot
and
of
on.
protection.
Now this one right here is a cream. So when you use the cream, you have to keep on taking and applying, whoops, and reapply as you get sweatier and hotter and all that.
Because it'll sweat off.
Yeah, it'll sweat off, and it may not necessarily be the most pretty thing after you get it all done and such, but it's important. Now, what this basically means is that when you're using something that has a 15 on there, you kind of just take the number and you multiply it by 10. Okay. So that tells us that if you're going to get burned within 15 minutes, okay, this should protect you about 150 times. So 150 minutes, or approximately 2.5 hours.
All right.
Okay, but you do have to keep on applying.
This will last a lot
yeah,
longer.
it is not the gospel on that. Okay. Another thing that you want to do is try to keep cool. This is kind of a neat little gizmo where you have yourself an Arctic necktie where it has the polymer crystals inside of it.
Right.
And you take them and you moisten them.
Right.
They hydrate. You put it around your neck, and then you stay cooler.
Oh, that's nice.
All right, we only have one set of eyes. Take care of your eyes. You want to make sure that you take your safety glasses, you take them and you put them on, and you're protected. There are goggles that'll protect your eyes all the way across, or again, you could do them just like this. Another thing that you can have is when you're working with sawdust and stuff, you're sawing things, you take this and you put it over your mask like that. Now, or for what you could do is you could take your whiskers and go like that. Yeah, either way,
That
it's gonna,
works.
it definitely works.
Okay.
This I would never be without. This right here is the most important tool.
Really?
I wear this all the time.
Do you really?
I don't care how hot it is. You get knocked in the head, you're protected, you've got ear protection, and you've also got a face shield.
Okay, anytime you're trimming trees,
Anytime I'm trimming
trees.
trees, it's just wonderful. Needless to say, again, ear protection for your ears, if you don't want to go with the mask style. And then, of course, we use it on the show over here all the time. We wear gloves. And we wear different types of gloves for doing different types of things. The only thing that I caution you for is that if you're going to be using this type of glove, that is what was called a gauntlet glove. And this is why it's a gauntlet right here, because of this. When you're working, a branch can get caught in there, and then all of a sudden you could have a potential problem.
You could have the wrong kind of snapping there.
Yeah. So you got to be really, really careful about something like that. And then lastly, whenever you're out in the yard and garden, you got to make sure that you take some time to hydrate yourself. And you might as well hydrate yourself with some cool water. Kick back underneath some shade.
Nice.
I like this particular gizmo right here. This is the only SPF shade that's on the market, and it's really cool.
Really?
Yeah, and the best part about it is that it actually retracts, goes back and
you can
forth
move
like
it
that.
to follow the sun.
Pull it and follow the sun.
Nice.
But the water factor really important. So make sure that you hydrate yourself. Try not to use anything that has sugar in it, by the way, because the sugar is going to actually make you sweat more and takes things out.
Oh.
So by putting the water in there,
Water's the best. All right.
you're doing really well.
You're doing a great job, Nick.
So with that, have fun out in the yard and garden. And remember, everybody, safety first. Come to my website, thingsgreen.com, and you'll have more information and ideas for the beginning and seasoned gardener.